The skies above the human colony of Nova Prime shimmered with an otherworldly glow as the alien vessel descended. Its sleek, obsidian hull reflected the twin suns of the system, casting an eerie light over the landing pad. The humans gathered below watched in awe and trepidation. This was no ordinary diplomatic mission, this was the arrival of the Kylorians, a race known for their fierce independence and disdain for outsiders. Among the humans stood Jason, a rugged engineer with a sharp mind and a heart full of curiosity. He had been assigned to assist the Kylorian envoy, a task he accepted with both excitement and apprehension. As the ship's ramp lowered, a figure emerged, silhouetted against the bright light. She was tall, her skin a deep shade of indigo, with glowing silver eyes that seemed to pierce through the soul. Her name was Naira, a Kylorian diplomat with a reputation for being as sharp-tongued as she was beautiful. Jason stepped forward, offering a polite smile. "Welcome to Nova Prime. I'm Jason, your liaison during your stay." Naira regarded him with a cool gaze, her lips curling into a faint smirk. "I hope you're more competent than the last human I worked with," she said, her voice smooth but laced with sarcasm. Jason chuckled, unfazed. "I'll do my best to exceed your expectations." As they walked through the colony, Naira's eyes scanned the surroundings with a mix of curiosity and disdain. The humans' technology was primitive compared to the Kylorians, but there was something about their resilience that intrigued her. Jason, on the other hand, found himself captivated by Naira's presence. There was a fire in her that he couldn't ignore, a strength that both challenged and inspired him. That evening, a reception was held in Naira's honor. The room was filled with the hum of conversation, the clinking of glasses, and the occasional burst of laughter. Jason found himself standing next to Naira, who was sipping a glass of something that looked like liquid starlight. "So," Jason began, "what do you think of Nova Prime so far?" Naira glanced at him, her silver eyes glinting. "It's quaint. Your people are resourceful, I'll give you that. But you lack the discipline of the Kylorians." Jason raised an eyebrow. "Discipline isn't everything. Sometimes, a little chaos can lead to innovation." Naira's lips curved into a smile, the first genuine one Jason had seen from her. "Perhaps. But chaos can also lead to destruction." Their conversation continued, each of them testing the other's boundaries, pushing and pulling in a delicate dance of words. By the end of the night, Jason found himself drawn to Naira in a way he couldn't explain. There was something about her that made him want to know more, to understand the woman behind the diplomat. As the days passed, Jason and Naira spent more time together. They explored the colony, debated the merits of their respective cultures, and even shared a few moments of quiet understanding. But beneath the surface, tensions were brewing. The Kylorians had their own agenda, one that could threaten the fragile peace between their races. One evening, as they stood on a balcony overlooking the colony, Naira turned to Jason, her expression serious. "There's something you should know," she said. "My mission here isn't just about diplomacy. My people, they don't trust yours. They think you're hiding something." Jason frowned. "Hiding what?" Naira hesitated, then shook her head. "I don't know. But if I find out, I'll have no choice but to report it. And that could mean war." Jason's heart sank. He had come to care for Naira, to see her as more than just an alien diplomat. But now, he realized that their worlds were on a collision course, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. As they stood there, the weight of their responsibilities pressing down on them, Jason reached out and took Naira's hand. "Whatever happens," he said, "I want you to know that I believe in us. In what we could be." Naira looked at him, her silver eyes softening. "You're a fool, Jason," she said, but there was no malice in her voice. "A beautiful, reckless fool." And in that moment, as the twin sun set behind them, Jason and Naira shared a kiss that was equal parts passion and desperation. It was a kiss that spoke of hope and fear, of love and loss. And it was a kiss that would change everything. The days that followed were a whirlwind of emotions for Jason and Naira. Their bond deepened, but so did the tension between their races. The Kylorians grew increasingly suspicious of the humans, and Naira found herself torn between her duty and her growing feelings for Jason. One night, as they sat together in Jason's quarters, Naira finally opened up about her past. "I wasn't always a diplomat," she said, her voice tinged with sadness. "I was a warrior, trained to fight and kill. But I saw too much death, too much destruction. I wanted to make a difference, to find another way." Jason listened intently, his heart aching for her. "You're stronger than you think, Naira. You've already made a difference, just by being here." Naira smiled faintly, but her eyes were filled with doubt. "I hope you're right, Jason. Because if I fail, it won't just be my people who suffer. It will be yours too." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden alert from the colony's security system. Jason's communicator buzzed urgently, and he quickly answered it. "Jason here. What's going on?" "We've got a situation," came the reply. "A group of Kylorian soldiers has been spotted near the perimeter. They're armed and look hostile." Jason's heart raced as he turned to Naira. "Did you know about this?" Naira's expression was one of shock and confusion. "No, I swear. This wasn't supposed to happen." Without another word, Jason grabbed his gear and headed for the door. "Stay here," he said. "I'll handle this." But Naira was already on her feet. "I'm coming with you. If this is my people's doing, I need to be there." Jason hesitated, then nodded. "All right. But stay close." As they made their way to the perimeter, the tension in the air was palpable. The Kylorian soldiers were indeed armed, and they were demanding access to the colony's mainframe. Jason and Naira approached cautiously, their weapons drawn but not aimed. "Stand down," Jason called out. "This is a peaceful colony. There's no need for violence." One of the Kylorian soldiers stepped forward, his eyes narrowing as he recognized Naira. "Traitor," he spat. "You've sided with the humans." Naira's jaw tightened. "I'm trying to prevent a war, you fool. If you attack this colony, you'll be condemning both our races to destruction." The soldier sneered. "We have our orders. Step aside, or we'll go through you." Before Naira could respond, Jason stepped in front of her, his weapon raised. "You'll have to go through me first." The standoff lasted only a moment before the Kylorian soldiers opened fire. Jason and Naira dove for cover, returning fire as best they could. The battle was fierce, but Jason's quick thinking and Naira's combat skills turned the tide. In the end, the Kylorian soldiers were forced to retreat, but not without casualties. As the dust settled, Jason turned to Naira, his heart heavy. "This is just the beginning, isn't it?" Naira nodded, her eyes filled with sorrow. "I'm afraid so. But I won't let it end like this. I'll do whatever it takes to protect both our people." Jason reached out and took her hand, his grip firm. "We'll do it together." And in that moment, as the stars above them burned brightly, Jason and Naira made a silent vow. No matter what the future held, they would face it side by side. The aftermath of the attack left the colony on edge. Tensions between the humans and the Kylorians were at an all-time high, and Jason and Naira found themselves at the center of it all. Despite the chaos, their bond only grew stronger, a beacon of hope in the darkness. One day, while reviewing the colony's security logs, Jason stumbled upon something strange. There were encrypted files hidden deep within the system, files that even he hadn't known about. Curious, he began to decode them, his heart pounding with each passing moment. When he finally cracked the encryption, what he found left him speechless. The files contained detailed plans for a secret project, one that involved the development of a powerful new weapon. The project was being funded by a shadowy organization within the human government, one that had been operating in secret for years. Jason immediately brought the files to Naira, his mind racing. "This is what your people were after," he said. "They must have found out about the project." Naira's eyes widened as she read through the files. "This changes everything. If my people find out about this, they'll see it as a direct threat. They'll have no choice but to retaliate." Jason nodded, his expression grim. "We have to stop this. We have to expose the truth before it's too late." But exposing the truth would not be easy. The organization behind the project was powerful, with connections that reached the highest levels of the human government. Jason and Naira knew that they would be risking everything by going up against them. That night, as they sat together in the dim light of Jason's quarters, Naira turned to him, her eyes filled with determination. "We can't do this alone. We need allies, people we can trust." Jason nodded. "I know a few people who might be willing to help. But it won't be easy. If we're caught." Naira reached out and took his hand, her grip firm. "We won't be. We'll do whatever it takes to protect both our people." And so, Jason and Naira began to gather their allies, a small but dedicated group of humans and Kylorians who believed in their cause. Together, they began to piece together the truth, uncovering a web of lies and deceit that stretched across both their worlds. As they worked, Jason and Naira grew closer, their bond deepening with each passing day. They shared their hopes and fears, their dreams and regrets. And in the quiet moments, when the weight of their mission threatened to overwhelm them, they found solace in each other's arms. But even as they grew closer, the danger around them continued to grow. The shadowy organization was aware of their efforts, and they would stop at nothing to silence them. Jason and Naira knew that they were running out of time, that they would have to act soon if they were to have any hope of stopping the coming war. And so, as the stars above them burned brightly, Jason and Naira prepared to take the final step. They would expose the truth, no matter the cost. For they knew that only by facing the darkness together could they hope to find the light. The day of reckoning had arrived. Jason and Naira, along with their small band of allies, had gathered all the evidence they needed to expose the secret project and the shadowy organization behind it. But they knew that simply revealing the truth wouldn't be enough. They would have to confront the organization directly, to put an end to their plans once and for all. As they prepared for the final confrontation, Jason turned to Naira, his heart heavy with the weight of what they were about to do. "Are you ready for this?" he asked, his voice soft. Naira nodded, her eyes filled with determination. "I've never been more ready. We've come too far to turn back now." Jason reached out and took her hand, his grip firm. "No matter what happens, I want you to know that I love you." Naira's eyes softened, and she leaned in to kiss him, a kiss that was filled with all the passion and love they had shared. "I love you too, Jason. And I'll fight for us, for our future." With that, they set out for the organization's hidden base, a fortified facility deep within the colony's underground tunnels. The journey was fraught with danger, but Jason and Naira pressed on, their resolve unshakable. When they finally reached the base, they were met with heavy resistance. The organization's soldiers were well trained and well armed, but Jason and Naira fought with everything they had. They moved as one, their bond giving them strength and courage. As they fought their way through the base, they finally reached the heart of the facility, where the organization's leader awaited them. He was a cold, calculating man, with eyes that seemed to pierce through the soul. "You're too late," he said, his voice dripping with malice. "The project is already complete. The weapon is ready, and soon, the Kylorians will be nothing more than a memory." Jason's heart sank, but Naira stepped forward, her eyes blazing with fury. "You're wrong. We won't let you destroy our people. We'll stop you, no matter what it takes." The leader sneered. "You're welcome to try." With that, the final battle began. Jason and Naira fought with everything they had, their bond giving them strength and courage. But the leader was a formidable opponent, and the battle was fierce. In the end, it was Naira who delivered the final blow, her blade piercing the leader's heart. As he fell to the ground, the facility began to collapse around them. "We have to go," Jason shouted, grabbing Naira's hand. They ran through the crumbling facility, their hearts pounding with fear and adrenaline. As they reached the surface, the facility exploded behind them, a fiery inferno that lit up the night sky. As they stood there, catching their breath, Jason turned to Naira, his heart filled with relief and love. "We did it," he said, his voice soft. Naira nodded, her eyes filled with tears. "We did. But this is just the beginning. We have a lot of work to do to rebuild the trust between our people." Jason reached out and took her hand, his grip firm. "We'll do it together. No matter what the future holds, we'll face it side by side." And in that moment, as the stars above them burned brightly, Jason and Naira knew that they had found something worth fighting for. Their love, their bond, was a beacon of hope in the darkness, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, there was always a chance for a better future. The days that followed were a whirlwind of activity. With the shadowy organization exposed and their plans thwarted, the humans and Kylorians began the long process of rebuilding their relationship. It was not an easy task, but Jason and Naira were determined to see it through. As they worked together to forge a new alliance, their bond only grew stronger. They shared their hopes and dreams, their fears and regrets. And in the quiet moments, when the weight of their responsibilities threatened to overwhelm them, they found solace in each other's arms. One evening, as they stood together on a balcony overlooking the colony, Naira turned to Jason, her eyes filled with love. "I never thought I'd find someone like you," she said, her voice soft. "Someone who could see past my walls, who could understand me in a way no one else ever has." Jason smiled, his heart swelling with love. "I feel the same way, Naira. You've changed my life in ways I never thought possible." Naira reached out and took his hand, her grip firm. "No matter what the future holds, I want to face it with you. I want to build a life with you, a future where our people can live in peace." Jason nodded, his eyes filled with determination. "We'll make it happen. Together." And in that moment, as the stars above them burned brightly, Jason and Naira knew that they had found something worth fighting for. Their love, their bond, was a beacon of hope in the darkness, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, there was always a chance for a better future. As they stood there, hand in hand, they knew that their journey was far from over. But they also knew that as long as they had each other, they could face anything. And with that knowledge, they stepped forward into the dawn of a new day, ready to build a future filled with hope, love, and endless possibilities.